very warm welcome to all our learners. In today's session, we will discuss about Fieldwork Practicum in BSWG program. Bachelor of Social Work program was initially launched in 2004 from the School of Social Work, Indira Gandhi National Open University. The program was revised and relaunched from July 2020 session. This session will cover the fieldwork practicum that the learner has to undergo during the course of their 3 years program. Let us understand the concept of how IGNOU works before we go into the program delivery. You can see we have the headquarters in Indira Gandhi National Open University in Delhi, and under this we have various schools and divisions. Under the School of Social Work is located from where the program is delivered. And we have the RCs and study centers, and then the learners. The revised BSW program, which is the program code is BSWG, the total number of credits is 132, and the eligibility for this program is 10+2. The medium of instruction is English and Hindi. The duration of this program is minimum 3 years and maximum 6 years. It is offered from July 2020 in both the January and July cycle of admissions. The program consists of both theory and practicum. Theory is of 72 credits and practicum is of 60 credits. So the total credit of this program is 132. These are the theory components. There are in total 11 theory courses which is spread across 6 semesters of this program. It is starting from BSW 121 to BSW 131. We will see the division of the theory and practicum in the different semesters in this session. So there are in total 6 semesters and 6 fieldwork practicums are there for the first, second, third, fourth, fifth and 6th semesters separately. Each fieldwork practicum is of 25 days. And it is very important to note that fieldwork has to be conducted under the guidance of a professionally qualified social worker. The coordinator of the study center will provide you with an approved guide or fieldwork supervisor, and it has to be noted that completion of fieldwork in the first semester is mandatory for starting fieldwork in the second semester. Similarly, completion of fieldwork in the second semester is mandatory before one begins fieldwork practicum for the third semester, and it continues like that. A learner may appear for term end examination without complete fieldwork practicum, but fieldwork practicums are mandatory for completion of the program. Now let us see how the theory and practicum courses are distributed. In the first semester, there are 2 theory papers and 1 fieldwork practicum. The theory papers are BHDLA 135 or BEGLA 135, that is Hindi Bhasha or English. Learner can choose either of these 2, any one. And we have BSW 121, which is Professional Social Work and its Values. Both these theory papers are of 6 credits each. The fieldwork component is BSWL 104, which is Social Work Practicum 4. It is of 25 days, which consists of 5 individual conferences and 20 orientation visits. In the second semester, the 2 theory papers are BSW 122, Society, Social Institutions and Social Problems, and BSW 123, Community Organization and Communication, and Fieldwork Practicum is BSW L 105, Social Work Practicum 5. In this semester, learner has to do 25 days of fieldwork practicum, which includes 5 orientation visits, 15 concurrent visits, and 5 individual conferences. Third semester also consists of 2 theory papers, BSW 124, Human Growth, Behavior and Counseling, and BSW 125, Social Casework and Social Group Work. The fieldwork practicum is BSW L 106, Social Work Practicum 6, which consists of 25 days of fieldwork, including 5 orientation visits, 15 concurrent visits and 5 individual conferences. In the fourth semester also there are 2 theory papers, BSW 126, Social Work in Family Setting, and BSW 127, Public Health and HIV/AIDS. The field work in this semester is BSW L 107, Social Work Practicum 7. Here, during the 25 days of fieldwork practicum, learner has to complete 5 orientation visits and 15 concurrent visits and 5 individual conferences. Similarly, in the 5th semester, the 2 theory papers are BSW 128 Social Policy and Social Development and BSW 129 Research Methods in Social Work. Fieldwork is BSW L 108. Here, the learner has to complete 5 orientation visits, 15 concurrent visits and 5 individual conferences. And in the last semester, the 2 theory papers are BSW 130 Prevention of Substance Abuse and BSW 131 Social Welfare Administration and Social Action, and the practicum is BSW L 109 Social Work Practicum 9. Let us come now individually in this how the fieldwork practicum has to be completed per semester. So in the first semester, the fieldwork practicum is BSW L 104. As I said, there are 25 days of total fieldwork which has to be completed, which includes 5 individual conferences. Now individual conferences are the discussions which happens with the learner, the student and the supervisor. Supervisor is allotted by the study center and the person is MSW qualified person and an approved person from IGNOU, School of Social Work. And in the first semester, along with the 5 individual conferences, the learner has to complete 20 orientation visits. Orientation visits has to be done in 20 different fieldwork settings so that the student has a knowledge and understanding of the different components of the fieldwork that has to be done. So here is an example of the different fieldwork settings. The learner can choose health settings like hospitals, community health centers, primary health centers, clinics. There is also option of correctional settings like prisons, police stations, juvenile justice systems, training schools, administration of parole services. Of course, special permission is required to do fieldwork in these correctional settings. Then we have the civic administrations like social welfare departments, education departments, health departments, municipal offices, panchayat offices, collectorates, block offices, and so on. A learner can also do fieldwork in the educational settings like schools, colleges, non-formal adult education institutions, home for the destitute, disaster-afflicted, refugees and migrants. We also have homes for weaker sections like women, children, beggars, elderly. A learner can also do community services. There is also option to do fieldwork in de-addiction and rehabilitation center and palliative care centers. Now, a learner often faces problem of how to write the reports of orientation visits. The format is already given in all the journals which is provided along with the study materials, and one has to write about the name of the institution, the address, the mission statement, the objectives of the agency or the setting, the people who are working there, like who is the chief executive officer, who are the board members, the type of work the organization is involved in, who are the beneficiaries, how many number of people are there, what is the geographical area of work of the setting, and whether the agency is registered or not, what is the structure of the agency, and is there any history of the organization, what are the sources of funding, and what kind of infrastructural facilities the organization has like buildings, transport, communication aids, audio-video equipments, and what is the relationship of the agency with other stakeholders like other welfare agencies, the government departments, panchayati raj institutions, community-based organizations, religious organizations. If the organization is facing any kind of problem, and the learner can write any other things that he or she observes during their fieldwork days. And finally, the learner has to write elaborately about their learning outcomes, what the learner has learned about their visit on that particular day, what was the experiences and what was the observations regarding the agency and the staff. So this detailed kind of analytical report has to be written during the orientation visits. Now, it is also very important for the learner to write about a self-evaluation report that is available at the end of all the fieldwork journals. Self-evaluation report is a brief report regarding the fieldwork, the experiences you gained during the various semesters of the fieldwork practicum, and there are certain set parameters like what kind of knowledge you acquired, what are the skills, what attitudes you formed as a professional social worker, how did you develop yourself as a professional self, and you also have to write a summary of your fieldwork. And there is also a checklist given so that the learner do not miss on any point. And finally, the supervisor under whose supervision you are doing the fieldwork, he or she, the supervisor, will give global comments. Coming to the second semester of fieldwork practicum, which is BSW L 105, The total fieldwork days are 25 days, in which the learner has to write reports about 5 individual conferences and 5 orientation visits in 5 different fieldwork settings. We have already discussed about the different settings. Now in this, starting from this semester, the learner has to choose only one particular setting in which concurrent visits needs to be done for 15 days. So in the second semester, during the concurrent visits, the learner has to write reports separately for the 15 days and also a report of community organization, which is one of the method you will learn during the second semester in the theory paper also, and it is a very important primary method in social work, and you need to practice the method of community organization and write the report accordingly. Now learners, you are supposed to read the fieldwork journal, and there are examples given in the fieldwork practicum about how to write the report of community organization. So during the concurrent fieldwork, 15 days of visits have to be made in any one of the fieldwork setting, and after each visit it is expected that the learner will write the report, and it is desirable to prepare a draft, correct it, and then get it checked with the supervisor, and then write the final in the practicum, and it has to be written in own handwriting and it should not be typed, and then the report on community organization has to be written. So the concurrent fieldwork reports has to be written according to a proforma which is given in the fieldwork journal, so which also includes this date, time, the activities performed and observations, what are the tasks assigned, what did you do in the fieldwork days, and how did you organize in any activity, any administrative assignments, and what kind of social work techniques, principles could one use during the fieldwork days. So all these details have to be recorded in the fieldwork journal. Now when we talk about community organization, you will learn in the theory paper also, it is a macro practice, and as a method it is practiced in a community setting, and here during community organization you have enter into a community, build rapport, you can write the community profile, one can also write about the felt needs of the community and who are the leaders, you can conduct meetings with the main people who are there in the village or the community, and consult the organizations who are working in the area, what are the problems and how a solution can be achieved. All those things may be written in the form under community organization. Coming to fieldwork in the third semester, which is BSWL 106. Now here also the total number of fieldwork days is 25, which will include 5 individual conferences. Now this 5 individual conferences is very important because it is mandatory to get supervision. One cannot just go do the fieldwork on their own and submit the report at the end of the semester. That is not expected. What is expected is to do the fieldwork under the guidance of a fieldwork supervisor who is approved by IGNOU School of Social Work. So from time and again the learner has to discuss the fieldwork details with the supervisor, the several problems he or she is facing, what kind of solutions is offered, what are the experiences. So all these details should be recorded under the reports on individual conference. And similarly, the learner has to do 5 orientation visits in 5 different fieldwork settings. Now here also in third semester, 15 concurrent fieldwork days have to be done, and reports have to be written separately for all the 15 days. In the third semester, you will practice the method of social casework. Social casework is one of the theory paper that you will learn in the third semester, and also in the practicum journal, details are given on how to do a social casework. It is a very important primary method in social work, and it is concerned with the adjustment and development of the individual towards more satisfying human relations. And here the purpose is to provide an exposure to the method of social work to the learner, and the casework is done over a limited period of time. So as a learner, one has to be careful not to stretch the fieldwork a lot, and process has to be followed in terms of study, assessment, intervention, termination and evaluation. So initial phase may require more time, but as learner you can gradually proceed under the guidance of the fieldwork supervisor. Coming to the fieldwork practicum for your fourth semester, which is BSWL 107, apart from the 5 individual conferences and 5 orientation visits in 5 different fieldwork settings, you have to do 15 concurrent fieldwork during fourth semester as well, and you have to write separate reports of each of these days. And apart from this, in the fourth semester, you have to write a report of social group work. So you will study social group work in the theory of the fourth semester. So in the fourth semester fieldwork, one has to practice the method of social group work during their Fieldwork. Group work is a primary method in social work, and it can be done in agencies where people are available in groups like schools, orphanages, old age homes, daycare centers, etc. And one can also work with self-help groups, adolescent girls or boys, youth, disabled, homeless, etc. And there are several kinds of groups one may form, like educational groups, personality development groups, recreational groups, therapeutic groups, etc. So during the fieldwork, please try to apply or form the pre-group phase, group work sessions, and evaluate the group work, and then write your experiences, the learnings in the report. In the 5th semester, also, the fieldwork practicum consists of 25 days, and the practicum journal is BSWL 108. So here also you have to do 5 individual conferences and 5 orientation visits in 5 different fieldwork settings. And in this semester, you will practice the method of social work research. Now, social work research as a theory paper you will study in the 5th semester. So you need to study the theory paper thoroughly so that you are able to apply this method during your fieldwork. Social work research consists of selecting a topic that interests you, and then you have to go to the community or the organization where you want to do the social work research. You need to write a proposal which consists of objectives, methodology, and how you want to do the social work research, and conduct the study, collect the data, evaluate it, and then write the report. So this all requires supervision, guidance from the fieldwork supervisor. So it is very important that the student is constantly in touch with the fieldwork supervisor. So how to write the report in social work research? It consists of the title, introduction, you write the statement of the problem, the need for the study, objectives of the research, methodology, the universe, sample, and then you have to prepare the interview schedule and interview guide, how you administered the schedule, collect the data, analyze the data, provide the recommendations, and finally a conclusion and summary. The last semester in the fieldwork practicum is BSWL 109, and here also the total number of days of fieldwork is 25, which consists of 5 individual conferences, and you have to do 5 orientation visits in 5 different fieldwork settings. And during the 15 concurrent fieldwork days, you have to practice the methods of social welfare administration and social action. Now again, this social welfare administration and social action is offered as a theory paper during the 6th semester. You need to learn it thoroughly and then apply these methods in the fieldwork during your 15 concurrent fieldwork days. And social action is a method of social work used mobilizing masses. You can study any kind of social action event. For example, you can write about destruction of natural resources, the dowry system if you come across. You can also write something, observe and write your experiences on the Right to Information Act, or how to file a public interest litigation, how to file a complaint with the National Women's Commission, etc. And social welfare administration is again a secondary method of social work, consists of administration of public and private agencies. You need to describe the fieldwork agency structure and functioning, and describe the management process by interviewing all the stakeholders, including the chief executive and other employees of the agency. And you have to write the observations and comments about the various aspects of the organization. And it always suggested to avoid being critical. So, as you can understand, the components of fieldwork in BSWG program are the induction meeting, which is the initial meeting where you need to go to the study center, meet with your fieldwork supervisor, where the fieldwork supervisor will explain about the fieldwork components and how to do the fieldwork during all 6 semesters. Then you will understand how to do orientation visits. Concurrent visits are also an important part of the fieldwork in the BSWG program. You need to write about practice and write reports of the different methods that you study during the course in BSWG program, and then you have to also write reports on individual conference, self-evaluation report, and global comments. So these are some of the guidelines which I have already explained. Like, you have to complete the fieldwork, then only the whole program is completed. Otherwise, just doing the theory paper will not make you complete the program. So fieldwork has to be completed, and you have minimum 3 to 6 years to complete the program. And if you have any further questions, this is the contact details. You can write to bswinfo@ignou.ac.in for any queries. I hope this session was fruitful to you. Thank you so much.